It's called a loss. Hello?
What?
Successful baffling.
You've been bamboozled.
Often being baffled and
confused.
bamboozled. Exactly, because you've been baffled and bamboozled.
You know what? Hello and welcome back to It's Called a Lance. I'm done with this previous conversation. We are moving on with our lives.
Today's host hates the fact that he was just bamboozled.
I know, my goodness.
There's zero recorded evidence that I've been bamboozled. Despite all claims to the contrary. Hello, and welcome to It's Called a Lance. I'm your host this week, Austin, co-host. Unfortunately, joining me today is my two friends. Yeah, I know what I said. You bamboozled.
Yeah, we're here, unfortunately.
William SRD
Hi.
and Hauntie.
Hello, and it's okay, Will. We can overlook what he just said. He's been baffled and bamboozled, so he's not really himself right now.
He's not all present. He'll
Yeah. Mhm.
One day,
He didn't mean
maybe.
He didn't mean it.
So, it's been a while since I've hosted one of these. How are you guys doing? How have things been?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty
Things have
good.
been doing good.
Yeah.
I got
The weather's finally cooling down.
It is, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you get, Will? What'd you get?
Oh, I was gonna say I got my cat spayed recently, and she just had her week after appointment today, and they said, yeah, she's healed. Get her out of that cone. So she is much happier
Yay.
now.
Freedom.
Yeah.
That was only about 2 hours ago. So she is loving
good.
the freedom and has been basically just giving herself a full body bath the last 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Good for
we
her.
got Coconut spayed a couple of months back, and that was an adventure.
Yep.
Mostly from having too many cats in my house.
No
Fair.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Azura's
Yes,
been in this week where she has not had a uterus, her behavior has gotten so much better.
Right?
She was always she doesn't scratch the carpets anymore, which is a weird side effect. But the biggest thing is she doesn't go to the opposite end of the house and yowl till you come get her. God, that was the worst.
I bet.
Coconut chooses less violence. Still not zero violence, just less.
That makes sense.
Yeah, she's still a violent anarcho-primitivist. She hates cell phones with a burning passion.
Really?
Do you guys think Silvara chooses violence?
Probably. Just not
I
as
think
much
she
as she should.
Yeah. I think maybe she chooses it a little too often at inopportune moments. I think she's an immature young woman who's out of her element, out of her depth.
In a way.
In a way.
Some kind of fashion.
Yeah.
You think it's been long enough for me to start cussing?
Oh, yeah, it's only 30 seconds. You can swear. Absolutely.
Oh, heck yeah. See, I'm trying to cut back to do better
I
in
think you
case I ever
mean-
start streaming.
Austin, I think you mean, oh, hell yeah.
Oh no,
say,
I tend to go from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds.
Darn it all to heck.
Darn it all to heck. Lord Succotage or whatever.
Oh, golly gee.
Yeah. Unironically,
you know
for
what?
Twitch,
I'm gonna
trying to
throw one out for all of my fellow Canadians who parlez-vous some français. Tabernacle.
Ooh, that's always a good one.
Oh,
the old
fuck yeah, I love
tabernacle.
that.
Tabernacle?
Oh yeah,
tabernacle.
it's a Quebecois thing.
I see.
It's a reference to the tabernacle, which is what is
Right.
that? A
Yeah.
bell?
That I know.
Yeah, it's a Catholic thing.
The Catholic thing. So they just shout tabernacle when they're mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking
so sort of like
It would be
God,
used similarly to be like Mother of God. Like it's that kind of.
Yeah. God damn it. Okay, I see.
That's for all of our Quebecois fans. I wish I lived there. You guys have it so much better than the
I
rest
don't know.
of
I would have
Canada.
I would have imagined something stronger. I would have imagined some stronger sauce from the French Canadians
No,
than Tabernac.
they're pretty Catholic over there, if I recall.
Well, that's
Tabernac
why I
is-
would have. That's
French.
why I would expect some stronger sauce.
Yeah, well, they say it with a lot more mirth.
I see. I see. Mm.
So, what did we think of these chapters here?
Ooh.
I like them. Revelations happened. Things were did things. It was
Yes,
Yes.
it was interesting.
things
It
did do
was
things.
interesting.
Yeah, it was. I kind of feel like my initial my wrap up, my feeling for all of the chapters taken as a whole is kind of that, like, maybe this is just me, but did they feel like one big chapter?
Yes.
Yes, it does
Okay.
feel like it was a pretty consistent chapter, just with breaks. So
Yeah,
people like
for the
me
reader.
don't lose their mind about reading
they're-
like 500 pages.
There wasn't
Yeah,
POV shifts, which I expected that we'd get Sturm and Derek, but
Right.
just like a little and then they reached the boats. But now we just got one consistent
Yeah.
POV of Lorana's group.
Yeah. Occasionally, well, I mean, and occasionally Gilth. Yeah. Oh, of Lorana's group. Yes.
Yeah, of the squad.
Yes. I did like that we got. I like that it opened immediately with Gilthanis's POV. I might be mistaken, but isn't this the first time we've gotten anything written from Gilthanis's POV?
I think so.
think so.
There might have been like a minor moment of like, and Gilthana
Right.
saw the goblin or something, but like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. This was like this chapter was like the first time.
yeah.
And it was for a sex scene.
Yes.
Kind of. There wasn't a lot of fornication.
Don't be so
there.
innocent.
I am
You know what
incredibly
happened after
innocent.
the fade to
That
black.
pool of ice cold wintry
You-
water was
you leave me
defiled
in
within
my
seconds
sweet,
of that chapter
sweet,
ending.
tender innocence alone.
Okay, now give us the summary and we'll argue about what happened.
All right. So no shit. There Githanis was. He could not sleep that night. He was coming to terms with having feelings like love, respect, and admiration for other races, which was new for him. He then spotted Silvara leaving the camp, and he followed her. And he spotted her, taking a bath in a pool of, I believe, Hauntie, you said cold water.
Cold wintry water.
Cold, wintry water. To which our boy Gilthanis spied on her. He was creeping it real. Yeah, see, I'm really good at this. I blame all the coffee I've been drinking all day. So as he spied her, he did notice one curious thing. Silvara could not see him with her elf sight. So they had a brief conversation, and after some time, they admitted that they were in love with each other, and allegedly fade to black, they bedoined. I don't know about that, but that's me and my opinions.
They definitely did.
They definitely
Yeah,
did.
probably did. They probably threw down.
Probably multiple times.
I mean, come on. It's a lady who allegedly never wears pants, according to all of the artwork.
All right, continue the summary.
The heroes make haste, and they meet with, God, and here's my ability to pronounce words again. The Cagnesetti?
Agonistic.
Kaganesti elves, who promise them no aid in their travels. Silvara guides our heroes through the mountains. The party rests in a cave. In the morning, Tass finds footprints in the snow surrounding the cave, to which ignore that. Lorana begins to confront Silvara about some of her weirdness. But before more accusations could be thrown, the elves find the party. Tough choices were made, and the party decides to split, with Derek and Sturm coming near to blows over this decision. But the pair of them take the orbs and make their way to Sandcrest, while the Dragon Lance stays with the rest of the team. The Gilthanis drops rocks to get the elves to follow them. They travel in single files to hide their numbers, like sand people. Silvara assures that the elves will follow them as she left a map in the cave that they were resting in. She takes them to Foghaven Vale, a place known to her people. The party comes to the Bridge of Passage, a massive arcing bridge that spans over hot springs. On the other side lies the monument to the Silver Dragon and the tomb of Huma. The team ready themselves for the trek across the bridge. Silvara tells them that the passage will be easy as long as they don't have evil in their heart. The party starts to cross, stopping only to take in the awe of a massive statue in the distance. Then the party starts to ask Silvara if Huma's body is there. She informs them that no, the body is missing, along with the lance that slayed dragons of all colors and none. Gilthanis snaps a little at his sister for her doubt of his one true love. As the party makes it across the bridge, they are confronted of large outlines of a friends in the mist, and almost immediately start to bash on Raceland. Unprompted. He wasn't even there, guys. Who is clad in his black robes. The party is then led into the mausoleum of Huma. The buyer held no body, but the sword and the shield of Huma. Theros uncovers a secret hole, and it starts to dawn on the party that the monument was in fact built by dragons and not by elves, man, or dwarves. Then the party begins to go into a magical slumber. Tass, who hid under Huma's shield to protect them from the spell, spots Silvara talking about breaking her oath. Tass wants to comfort her, as she can see she is in pain, but he decides he needs to find an exit first for the rest of the party. He descends down the hole, which turns out to be a magical wind tunnel. And through there, he arrives at the throat of a dragon monument. After some exploring around, he finds Fizzband, who turns out to be alive. Taz and Fizzband talk a little about how Fizzband is supposed to be dead. Taz tells him that he came with his friends, and the pair of them go to awaken the party. As the party starts to come to, with the spell being broken, they see that Fizzband is alive. The shock causes Flint to pass out. Fizzband starts to lay into Silvaris about her oath, and if she broke it or not. And then Fizzband and Tasselhoff abandon the rest of the party to go on their own personal adventure for a couple of days, and they will convene at the council. Silvaris reveals to the party that she's a dragon, something that nobody could have known all along. It was a great reveal. And after contemplating for a long moment of time, gives Theros the power to reforge the Dragonlance. And that's more or less what happened. Yeah.
That's the summary. We got there.
Yeah.
Woo. Yep.
I'll even at one point get maybe okay at these.
You're doing great.
You're just waiting until the
let
sequel
Em and I
series.
have the podcast.
All right.
Yes.
You guys have a great night. I will see y'all.
Yeah, we will.
We'll see you tomorrow.
You see you tomorrow.
Oh my God, Austin, was that super glue on your chair? Oh no.
Oh no, he's stuck with us.
Damn.
But
Sorry,
the
Austin.
wheels
Maybe
are
next time.
super glued to the floor as well.
Oh no.
you are going to have to replace the carpet. I'm just saying, man.
Oh my
God, my
gosh.
landlord is going to be so pissed.
How could your cats do this to you?
Do not blame my cats for this. They are to be blamed for a lot of things, but do not blame them for your ghostly meddling.
But yeah. So
So what did we think?
man, Silvara.
Silvara, a lot happened in these chapters. And
It did.
I cut out a whole bunch of stuff that I wrote down
Mhm.
because of how I was trained to write, which is I'm a history I was a history major for a while, and I had to take a whole bunch of super boring information and cut it down to the most useful parts, which I think I did an okay job at.
I think so. Yeah, you got the plot there.
Hell yeah!
Mhm,
Sorry, I just need praise to boost my low self-esteem.
You're welcome. Speaking of praise, we praised it at the end of the last episode, but that picture of Silvara at the
Yes.
start of
Oh my
chapter
goodness.
Picture
5.
of Silvara, like, goddamn, my poor sweet innocent mind.
Woof. We it's like a roller coaster, these chapters, and that's like the hill that you go up at the very beginning, where it's just cranking up and you're like, oh man, I'm excited. This is gonna be a thing. And then it drops you.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
like
a lot.
it is a lot. We went through like an entire. I feel like we went through okay, so as the person who read these a long time ago, like a very long time ago, I don't remember anything about Silvara and Gilthanis beyond this point, beyond these chapters. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that in this little chunk we get the entirety of their relationship. The passion at the beginning to the tragic breakup at the end. I don't know what's going on. But I feel like we went on a whole arc with them. And man, they're both left so raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just kind of dumbfounded by it all, to be honest. Like, I think that it was interesting to see the way that she's characterized, because up until these chapters, right, Silvara's kind of been very obviously playing the part of like this kind of sort of like naive or I'm struggling to find a polite word
Of somebody who was meant to be a servant, right?
not meant to be a servant, not servile, but just kind of like dim. Like she, she was always like naive. Naive isn't the right word, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A dim bulb in the party.
Yeah.
And
not the sharpest knife in the crayon shed.
Correct. She was playing the role that I think people expected unfairly of the of a Kaganesti woman, right? And as the time goes on, we see one more emotional depth, right? We get the interactions between her and Gilthanis, which reveals one side of her personality we hadn't seen before. But also her true side, she's a lot more calculating. But even that seems, well, not calculating, a lot more proud, I suppose. Regal even. Because she's not calculating. She pretends to be calculating through these chapters whenever they're like, yes, just according to, at one point she's like, it's all according to Keikaku. Like, yeah, that was my plan all along, only for us to realize at the very end. She actually didn't have much of a plan at all. She was improving the entire way.
Which is kind of surprising for a dragon who's supposed to be as old as all get out.
Well, you got to keep in mind that a lot of these dragons have been they've been out of the picture for a long time too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we also don't know how long she's been with the Kaganesti elves. We don't know when her whole thing, her arc begins.
We also know, based off of her words, that it sounds like taking a mortal form like this gives dragons some emotions they're not used to having. So that might be part of why things are so slapdash.
Yes, which is consistent with polymorph and greater polymorph in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You can, in fact, under certain, I forget exactly which spells and what, but you can take on sort of, there's a risk of taking on the characteristics of the thing you turn into. So if I turn someone into a dog with my magic, they will think, and they won't be John as in a dog body. They will be John as a dog, right? And so, yeah, when dragons do this, clearly they are subjecting themselves to all of the hormones and everything else that the human body, humanoid body, is party to.
Yep.
Yes. Something that a dragon, being more reptilian, probably is not.
Yep.
You know? But yeah, man. I do think that that she is, I mean, this is a challenging chapter because it's so much happens, a challenging collection of chapters because so much happens and yet so little happens. Because it's really all about Silvara, even though it's about her relationship with Gilthanas to a lesser extent, and even the party's journey to this place to an even lesser extent. It's really all about Silvara, and like, but it's hard to say much about her because the end of the cluster of chapters is the moment we are introduced to Silvara.
Yeah, which is a fascinating turn. And again, I really enjoyed it. As somebody who just came in for the first time, for reading the books.
Yes.
Because like I implied at the end, I imagine if you were a younger reading, the reveal of Silvara would probably be kind of mind-blowing of her being a dragon. I don't know, because I wasn't a child when I read this.
I don't remember my reaction, but it seems like the kind of thing that I would have been a little crazy about.
Yeah, and it makes sense because, well, you know, kids do things and they're great at that. And like there was enough hints at it without it being completely on the nose. At least to me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain that I was aware of it in advance.
Yeah, but that's because you were a weird kid who never had any fun or something. I don't know.
Well, I also was an AD&D nerd and I collected details, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
And one of those details is in Dragonlance specifically. I don't know about the other settings, but in Dragonlance specifically, when dragons polymorph, one of the things they cannot change is their hair color and eye color. So like their hair will always be the color of their scales. And so the moment they were like, Silvara has like crazy metallic silver hair, I'm like, okay, ding, got it.
I mean,
understood.
If you were largely coming into the series blind and you didn't know enough about dragons, you might not have really known a whole lot about silver or gold dragons or just metallic dragons being a thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
Definitely true. But they also throw a lot of, Wise throws a lot of foreshadowing.
Yes.
These chapters.
And again, I it's not a complaint. As I've been getting older in my life and getting back into reading books, I do enjoy some good foreshadowing.
Yes, her elf sight doesn't work. She's bathing in ice cold water, completely unbothered.
Which I, as
the
a
dragon
Canadian,
orb keeps like activating around her, like.
Yeah, which is weird. Yeah, as a Canadian, I've got no problem diving into ice cold water. I find it refreshing, but you know, that's not what most people do.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's true.
It is true.
So upon spotting this scene,
yes,
our buddy Gilthanas activates a type of move for picking up women that will not work in real life.
Yeah.
Which is stare at a woman while she's taking a bath, keep staring at her while she points a knife at you, and then tell her you love her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Friends, don't do this.
This is a play that is not going to work.
This
in
is
real life.
It's called a Lance dating tip section. Don't do that.
It's called a dating advice.
Yeah,
it's right up there with standing outside of her bedroom window with a boombox when she does not want to see you.
But inevitably, it does work. It does work for Gilthanas, and I'm going to say it is entirely because of the fact that this dragon has little experience with being found attractive by human men and has no bad experiences with which
elfmen.
I mean, elfmen.
Well,
yeah, right.
I don't necessarily think we need to even justify it that way because one, I think this is just a moment of capital H, capital R, high romance, right?
That's
Which
true.
is much like high fantasy and high
romance.
adventure and everything else. It's divorced from reality.
Yeah.
It's operatic. And two, she does reveal that she has already fallen in love with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
by the time she is in that lake. Like
they
before
both
he
caught
shows up.
feelings for each other.
They are star-crossed 100%.
And, besides the awkward staring thing, it can be considered adorable. Except, the staring thing and the knife threatening. Just don't threaten people with knives, gang.
Right. But she's a dragon too, so I doubt she also has the same kind of sense for modesty. And I think the chapter even kind of conveys that. Like, she doesn't go to cover herself up; she goes for her knife, right?
Yeah.
And and then she drops the in one of my favorite metaphors thus far. She literally drops the metaphor that she has been wrapping herself in. Into the water when they embrace there at the end of the chapter, which I think is great imagery. Because of course she's concealing herself. She's concealing who she is, right? And she's just before they embrace, she's still holding this towel or blanket to her, and then it's the kiss that causes her to drop it. And if that's not a metaphor for what this love is doing to her sense of purpose and her sense that she needs to keep her true identity concealed from the world. I don't know what else could be a metaphor for that.
It's not easy to go from cold-blooded to hot-blooded.
No, it's not. It's
Check
not at
it
all.
And see. I've got a fever of 103. I apologize for nothing.
Nor should you.
Sorry, I'm done now. I'm going to go away.
I thought you had left a while ago, and Em and I were having a podcast here.
It's the super glue to the chair. It's really keeping a brother down.
Let me see. I've got a whole lot of highlighting. I'm going to flip through the book here. Once I find her again. Where is she? Where are you, Silvara? Where are you? There we are. Yes, I think chapter 5 was really nice. I think it was really well written. I think it's very beautiful. I think it's a very beautiful chapter.
And I think
that,
for a high romance thing.
Yes. I think it does a good bit to set up Gilthanis's reaction at the end of book 2 as well.
Yeah.
Because it does sort of get, although he's like completely stupidly in love with her, and this seems to be a star-crossed destined love, he is still getting over his narrow-mindedness and his lack of worldliness and his inability to cope with new circumstances.
And
which makes it all makes sense in the end then.
Yeah.
But chapter 6.
Chapter 6, though.
Yeah,
yes.
chapter 6. Definitely was a chapter of all time.
Was it?
I really don't like Derek. I really don't like him.
I have things to say about Derek in this chapter, actually.
All right. Okay. Is it
the
fact that you
unpopular opinion haver has arrived?
Yes, as usual.
Okay. I'm not saying that I have been personally wronged by a Derek in my life, which might hold my opinion against all Dereks for all time.
Yes. Well, as we know, in this chapter, this is when they discover that they're being followed, right? And shortly after, Silvara changes into her outfit of leather, her long leather tunic, and her leather that covers more than amply covers her leather pants, her leather breeches.
As soon as she puts on clothing,
and a heavy fur cloak. So she is covered head to toe in leather. I just want to say leather and fur. She's all set. There's no reason to ever assume that she's wearing anything less than pants and a really long shirt and a cloak.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they get followed, and Derek, of course, wants to fight. He's one of these military guys. War is ennobling. Battle makes us better, etc. Anyone who doesn't want to fight is a coward. Blah blah blah. Sturm, interestingly, is siding with the women. Though at this point, I don't think that's a surprise anymore. But there's a couple interactions because of this between Derek and Sturm that suggest to me that, although we may not have seen it in the text, Derek, like a lot of other characters, has probably been doing some covert growing during the time that's been passing.
Indeed.
Just a little bit. just a little bit,
Mhm.
right? Because there's one here. Here's the interaction between them, where they're trying to decide. They decide that Derek should take the dragon orb to Sancrist, while the rest of them go with Silvara someplace else. So that way, the elves will only follow one half of the party, or will have to split up themselves. And it's unclear whether Sturm should go with Derek or not. And Sturm ultimately agrees that it's strategically sound for him to go with Derek, whereas Derek is fine going alone. And so Derek tells Sturm, or doesn't even
Hold
tell,
on,
he just asks.
a quick narrativization there that I feel is
Oh, yes.
doing some work is
Mhm.
I don't think it's just that he feels he can do it alone. I think to a degree he wants the credit and he wants to
Yes.
get
Oh,
ahead of
yes.
the narrative of everyone else.
This is true, and Sturm says
He
as much
wants to get
himself.
there and have everyone show up and have their names in the mud.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
he wants to besmirch everyone because Derek's kind of a dick.
He is kind of a dick, but when he orders, he doesn't. Well, I think importantly, there's two things that happen in this interaction. One, he doesn't order Sturm to stay behind. He asks. He says, "And if I order you to stay behind," right?
Yeah.
Which is a change. It's a small shift, but it's a shift. And then Sturm replies. He says, "You have no authority over me." Sturm said, his brown eyes dark. "Have you forgotten I am not a knight?" And then it says, and then I think what is important here is there was a painful, profound silence. Derek stared at Sturm intently. So clearly he's struck by the words and he's sizing Sturm up, right? And he
Yeah.
says, no. He says, "No. And if I have my way, you never will be." And that's very different than what he's sort of been saying previously. Now he's kind of couching it as like, if I get what I want, you won't be a knight. But the flip side of that is, if I don't get what I want, you will almost, like, you're gonna be a knight.
Yeah,
Like,
you're doing
because
enough badass
you are
heroic stuff.
You're a knight. You are Knight of Solamnia material. I just don't like you. Like,
Yeah, which is fine because I don't like
that is
Derek.
growth for that's growth for our jerk. You know, he's no longer, he's acknowledging who Sturm is. I think he has a moment there where he sees Sturm for the man Sturm actually is. And and I think that's necessary. That's important to see and to acknowledge,
which I agree with.
Because of course, Derek in the original modules is one of the playable characters.
Yep.
He is one of the PCs.
We are 100% going to play this, and I don't know if we should make our own characters.
Oh, we'll be making our own characters, 100%.
Okay, that's good because I've already made at least one character, but I'll probably change it by the time we actually get to it.
Yes, I will be playing a payless half human.
All right. Well, quick aside. No, the character I made is apparently time wizards are a thing, and I saw
Yes,
that,
they are.
and I looked at Emily. By that I mean I looked at Hauntie and I'm like, I'm a time wizard.
You are a time wizard, and my brain said that you immediately slotted yourself into a very specific role in the story.
Yeah, as a time wizard who also uses swords, because fuck you, that's an option.
It is. But yes, so I think that this is a good chapter for Derek, as good a chapter as he's going to get for a while.
Yeah.
But he punches Sturm in the face.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
he does.
Okay,
you know?
but come on, Sturm has been really mean to Raceland for mostly no reasons. I want to punch Sturm in the face sometimes.
Yeah, this is a good little bit of turnabout, but I think, and I also think it's important for the two of them to get some bro time. You know, they're not bros yet, but maybe with a little bro time, eventually, perhaps they will be.
Sturm can do better.
Sturm can do better, but you know.
Okay, well, hear me out. I get it. One of my best buds, actually, like my best bud, we started off hating each other, and eventually we turned it around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you listen to this, I love you, buddy.
Oh, that's sweet.
You know who you are.
But are there?
It's me.
No.
Better. Could he? From what he said of the Knights of Solamnia as an order.
From what he has said is they're all kind of jerks. It's the order of jerks.
I predict that Sturm because I only remember one crucial moment in his story going forward. I predict that Sturm will, in some way, shape, or form, be the example that the Knights of Solamnia will realize they need to be living up to. That's my prediction.
Of course.
And I
Of
think
course,
I think that starts with Derek.
I mean, from what
I think
everyone
probably.
has told me about Sturb and how he becomes he's one of the most popular characters, and he's a lot of people's favorite character.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that happening because, like, at least for the first while, I've seen some sparks of why people like him, but like it never really hit me. But maybe that's because I'm a Raceland fanboy, and I can admit that.
Again, his story looks better in retrospect. You'll
Yeah.
understand later.
True.
I'll understand when I finally grow up.
Yeah, when you
Yep.
finally grow up to an adult Dragonlance fan.
Mhm.
Maybe one of these days I'll get there.
When the scales fall from your eyes. But yes,
I'm not gonna
cry. Oh. But yes, they leave, they go, and that was it. I mean, this was basically just them the party being all like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
We're being followed, we should split up. You take the orb away, and then Lorana briefly is like, wait, you should also take the dragon lance. And then Silvara's like, no,
that's gotta come with us.
actually, that's coming with, that's gotta come here.
And if I recall, it was a few days since I read that chapter. If I recall, she used some enchantment on them to make them to enforce the Dragonlance stay with the party.
Yes,
or am I crazy?
Not just that, but I think she does. It's I think it's magic. It could just be dragon awe, but like
it might be dragon awe. It might be some a spell like ability. I don't know if that's a thing. In second in AD&D.
Not exactly, but she does enchant them in some way, shape, or form. A power of some kind is exerted in this moment that causes them all to stop doing the thing that adventuring parties do when you play Dungeons and Dragons, which is talk and negotiate and debate a single choice for the entire session.
I know, and I am guilty of this, and I'm working on it.
Well, it's quite interesting because the one thing like that was very like jarring for a lot of this reading is the fact that like Silvara just kind of acts as a leader and everyone just follows her, which is very weird because several people don't trust her. And it totally makes sense that it's because she's got some kind of spell going on here.
I mean, in particular, the party leader doesn't trust her.
Exactly.
Because I think we can all safely assume we know who the boss of a party is.
Of course.
Yes.
She's the one who has speaking lines.
Yeah, the only reason I think this might just be Dragon Awe, which is the metallic dragon version of Dragon Fear, I think, is just because there's no components that are mentioned, and also I don't recall an Advanced Dungeons & Dragons spell that does this. Like the closest would be Charm Person, but that would be very thorough. This seems to be more just like a majesty.
It seems like a natural ability over a spell because even when she put the party to sleep, there was words spoken.
Yes.
There was an actual spell being cast, which is why Tasselhoff knew to hide under the magic shield. Well, I assume magic shield.
Yes. And their moods weren't changed. It just seems like they were like they were aware that she had done something. Like they were aware of like, that they were basically just kind of compelled.
They were cowed
to act
some
against
way
their own,
to do a thing, and then it kind of just got dropped. Like nobody else brought up the fact that we're bringing the lance with us until the end.
Yes.
And
the conflicts that follow from this moment really could have been settled with some open communication.
Okay, see, as a person who loves good communication, literally most fantasy settings could be solved with good communication skills.
But alas, it's a soap opera, so
Exactly. And it would, if people just sat around and had polite conversations to tell each other how they actually feel, that would ruin basically every story.
Yep.
It's true. It's true. And in this case, though, I do want to say that I think it's important. We'll see later on why Silvara wants to bring the Dragonlance along, because we are gonna get a lot of mixed signals from here on out, right? And a lot of mixed signals from Silvara about what her intentions are and what she's trying to accomplish, and it remains unclear right up until the very, very end of book 2.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Silvara herself is, despite being very, very old, is a very, very young dragon, right?
She still
emotionally.
She hasn't reached her emotional maturity, and she's still just kind of scrambling to figure things out because stuff started moving, and you kind of have to roll with the punches sometime.
Well, yeah, she's out of her depth for sure. We will see exactly how out of her depth she is in the next book. Book 3 in the next book of this book. And my cat isn't bothering me. But speaking of dragons, but I think that there's signs. And the Dragonlance is one of those signs, I think. I haven't had to deal with someone with Silvara's like level of like not knowing her own like. Not knowing herself in like years. And so my brain, whenever I was reading these chapters, was just like, oh my God. Like I felt like I was like caught in a pinball machine, if that makes sense.
Yeah. This is so as the party splits, we are reminded that Gilfanis, not a powerful wizard, does have some magical abilities.
He does.
Because he throws rocks at people.
Because he's elf
He is a
class.
dabbler. Well, no, because he's a dabbler. The elf class did not exist in Dragonlance. It was not a class.
Fine.
Yeah, screw you, Will. You and your elfism.
He is a dabbler, which means he has gone up to at most level 3 in the wizard class.
Yeah. Which doesn't explain how he can throw boulders at
people. If he was
elf
elf class, he wouldn't have to multi-class.
You know what, Will? Go play some AD&D by yourself then, if that's how you want to be here. We're gonna play some Dragonlance.
I'm leaving.
Like a bunch. You can't leave. You're super glued to your chair. What you didn't know is I did the same thing to you.
Oh my God!
Mm-hmm.
You fools.
So, as we were with all this, where were we?
We
were just about to start chapter 7.
Yeah, Gilfanis can cast magic.
Oh, yes.
Before we do that, I wanted to say I really like this one line from Sturm. Where like Derek was trying to hit him with the like, you're breaking your oath, you're running from the enemy. And Sturm correctly assesses, those guys aren't my enemies. I'm running from my friends. I think that was such a good moment.
Yeah. Because it is worth remembering, like, the elves, they're after the orb again. They're not really after our heroes.
Yeah.
Because the orb, as far as anyone can tell, is what's going to save elf kind. And, like, to be real here, people are going to look after people that look like them first and foremost, right? So elves are going to look after elves before anyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to moralize that to say whether that's right or wrong. That's but like it's something that I can get.
Yeah.
It's created a lot of the problems that Ansalon is facing right now, though.
Yeah. And Sturm,
it's created a lot of those problems.
Yeah. and Sturm, who has been adventuring with a half elf, making him one of his firmest friends, and a dwarf and a kender, has started to understand, well, like, yeah, they're different, but that's fine. And that's something I can really get behind. And like that whole, I'm running from my friends, not my enemies.
Yeah.
But that's my diatribe soapbox for the evening. Moving on.
Very, very short.
Indeed.
I know. I'm getting better.
Chapter 7. Dark Journey.
My nightmare chapter. As someone who is scared of heights, this is my nightmare chapter.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about the logistics of it. Yeah, that would suck, walking across like a narrow, slippery marble bridge.
Yeah. in the mist.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't like
no,
that.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. Uh, although, when Silvara said that, as long as you won't fall off if your intentions are good, I was almost hoping that Hasselhoff would like go like wee and like slide his way down after hearing that or something.
I mean,
Yeah.
Hasselhoff did say he wanted to see if he can't cook meat. Now,
Yes,
speaking
true.
of images, I do have an issue with the chapter 7 picture of this. I don't like it very much.
What, this bridge?
Yeah, the picture of a bridge on chapter 7. I'm hoping we're all looking at least one that looks similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a footbridge.
Yeah, it's just a footbridge. It clearly has handrails. It's not a for me when I was picturing this arch in my head, it was a big, long
it is
thing that is meant to look impossible to climb.
And when they said it was marble, I assumed like a solid, smooth piece of marble, and also they said it was wet.
Yeah, I still imagine there was a footpath, like stairs there, but you're still climbing up marble stairs. And I've never walked on a marble staircase, but I have been around enough marble countertops to know that they can be slick.
Yes,
especially when wet.
Yes, and the bridge is the way you imagine it. It's meant to be a big. It goes way up and then it goes way down. Like this is one of these like feats of engineering that like doesn't make any sense. It's highly decorative, and it's just frightening. It's like seeing those videos of like hikers in China walking on like the 4-inch wide bridge over a 2-mile drop or whatever, like in the mountains. It's supposed to be like that.
The note bridge. The nope. I'm not here for this.
Yeah. It's my nightmare. I think that would be where the adventure ends for me.
Nope.
I think I would see that and I'd be like, I think I'm going to try and catch up to Sturm and Derek. I'm afraid that they might have started making out by now. I gotta go and make sure that doesn't happen.
Go
see y'all later.
If it makes you feel any better, you have gotten a lot further in this adventure than I would have. As soon as we came across a cave, I'm like, no.
Okay,
I'm incredibly claustrophobic, which makes me a bad dwarf, but
it's true. Still dwarf.
That is a great artwork.
Yes. I've shown the image, the classic Dragonlance image of Silvara dressed modestly in her long tunic and pants. Yep, standing before Dragon Mountain with Gilthanis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is again a thing I really liked.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good Dragon Mountain.
Yeah, it's pretty good Dragon Mountain, isn't it?
I was a big fan of the imagery in this one, in this chapter. Of the talking about the Foghaven Vale and the thick fog that surrounds it, and Silvara would talk about like some of the old structures that used to be here, and it was one of our first mentions of ochres that I remember.
Yes.
And it was really. Like I could kind of picture it in my head as much as I could.
Yeah. Well, something else that I think is not specific to the text, but something that I like. This is something I enjoy about the world of Dragonlance specifically, is that it doesn't present you with like a known world, right? Like a lot of previous settings, they give you the sense that that everyone knows where everything is, whereas in Dragonlance it's a world where we've seen it with Hasselhoff and his love of maps and everything else, that like the information that they are using on their maps is inaccurate a lot of the time because the map is even like 50 years old or something. Footpaths have changed, all sorts of stuff, right? Forests have moved, but And for that reason, a lot of these kinds of places, you would think, oh, wow, a mountain carved into the shape of a dragon with this lush history and a magic bridge. And the people here should absolutely know where this is, but they don't.
Yeah.
Because it's not on a map anywhere. It's in a part of the world that no one has any reason to try to even go to, and we've seen this a couple times too. Like the
it's easy
Grove
to
and all this other
forget
stuff.
it because Dragonlance is high fantasy, but
Mm-hmm.
Dragonlance is very much a post-apocalyptic setting. Like
Yeah, in many ways.
everywhere in Dragonlance, they kind of remember there used to be something there, but like there's new oceans now. There could be anything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And it does. It makes it. It does all. Let me catch my tongue. It goes a long way to make the relatively small landmass of Ansalon, because Ansalon is not a large continent. We're not looking at Europe, right? We're looking
Right.
at California. You know,
Yeah.
like it's small. It's not even the size of North America. It's the size of maybe 2 or 3 states. It goes a long way toward making that small landmass feel enormous, because it's it's full of mysteries, and that those mysteries can be really large or really small.
Yeah.
And they're just not going to be on your map. And I think from an adventure, from a perspective for world building for the novels, that's a really great touch. And I also think for a D&D setting,
Yeah.
that's a really good use of, it's a really good way to resolve the conflict between, like, because everyone who draws I'm going to draw a D&D continent for my world, we always draw them too small. We always draw them to a really tiny scale. And this is a good way to balance that out, to correct that. I think it's very masterful and artful of the setting.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there too, because we are not done finding random new places in the world of Ansalon. There are a few more to come.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, I think it even gets talked about either in this chapter or in a later chapter of, if there was a dragon here, everybody on the island would fucking know that there's a dragon here. But
Mhm. Would they?
would they? Like,
only if it made itself known, right?
like
Yep.
I have been to islands before. If most, like a reasonably sized island, like I'm talking Prince Edward Island or Vancouver Island. If something was on the fucking north of the island, I wouldn't fucking know anything was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It
the
could be a
4
Parthenax
days.
situation. Dragon just doesn't leave the temple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Just hangs out.
I forgot about Parthenax.
Can't believe you forgot about Parthenax.
Parthenax
Yeah, well,
didn't
I
forget
never
about
killed
you.
him. I never
Yeah.
killed Parthenax.
No, you
in all
never
my
kill
playthroughs.
Parthenax.
Yeah,
No matter
I'm not
how
a
cool
monster.
the blades are, you don't do it.
They're not as cool as Parthenax. He's
It's
a bro.
true.
When I walked down the beach, there were 6 sets of footprints. And then one time I looked up and there was only 2. And I said, why are there only 2? And that's when Parthenax appeared and said, those are the times I carried you. And it's like, damn, he carried
Thanks,
me in his 2
Parthenax.
little wing arms and walked on his tippy toes.
Oh boy, howdy. All right. So, anyways, we'll stop gushing over Parthenax to cool dragons.
But yes, so it's good world building in this chapter is sort of my point. I think also one other thing for me in this chapter that's important is what Theros says to Lorana about Silvara and Gilthanis. When he's like, you're being too hard on them. And he says, that girl loves your brother as truly as I've ever seen a woman love a man. And he loves her. Such love cannot come to evil. Which again is just kind of driving home this sense that it's like a star-crossed situation, because every other romance so far has been melodramatic. Like,
it's true.
Has been a will they, won't they, aren't they, situation.
Yeah, this one kind of has that high fantasy magical feeling about it, which I really do kind of like as a 30-plus-year-old man nowadays.
It is WoW. Twoo WoW. That's a little reference for some of the people out there. And but yes. So I think that's good, and that's giving me some hope for after this book, after book 2. It gives me some hope, because I have literally no idea what happens to them.
Probably nothing good.
Oh, I hope not.
It feels like they've hinted right away that it's going to be very tragic, so I'm prepped for it. But we'll see. We could be pleasantly surprised.
Could be.
I'm just used to universal sadness and nothing ever working out.
Yeah. We also get some, speaking of sadness and nothing working out, we get something that may or may not be foreshadowing for Flint in this chapter as well. We get a description, Flint and Tasselhoff, even though they're with this group, they've been kind of like unspoken for a lot of this. Like they're just kind of there quietly in the background, not really doing much, except when Tasselhoff quips to remind us that they're there.
Yeah.
But it says the journey had been hard on Flint. He was, after all, almost 150 years old, a respectable age for a dwarf. His face had lost some of its color during their voyage. His lips had a bluish tinge that are thinned, barely visible below his beard. And occasionally he presses his hand against his chest, while always insisting that he's fine.
Yeah.
And those are not good. Those are not good flags.
No. Yeah.
For old man characters.
The aged dwarf went on a big, long journey, and he's apparently aging even faster now.
Yeah.
Man, I hope he survives to the end of the books. I like him, not because I see more and more of myself in him.
And then
as
dies
the older
of
I
old age
get.
2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sad Austins.
But so I just want to once again, something I want that in the readers' heads as we move forward. But other than that, they go into the temple. They're walking across the hot springs. Silvara does some strange magic again, so we see even once more she's talented spellcaster. And then we learn that the place they're going is not just the Dragon Mountain; it is the tomb of Huma, the Knight of Sulamia. And it's a bummer that Sturm couldn't be there.
And is Huma real? Well, his body's not here.
Yeah,
weird.
But all of his shit is here.
But not his most important
shit is there.
Yeah, not the lance.
I'm just saying, I'll take a magical sword. As an adventuring party, I like magic swords.
Yeah,
I don't think they take the magic sword though. Don't they just leave it there?
We don't know yet, because at the end of the final chapters, they're still there.
That's true.
But honestly, I don't think anybody would, because nobody in this party right now are going to be using like fucking human longswords and shields, because the guy who should get them isn't with the party right now.
Yeah, true. It would be Sturm if anyone, and he's not here.
Yeah, it'd be Sturm or Derek, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh well, their loss.
But yeah. So they do manage to cross, and the one thing that I like to that I saw, and I wrote it down, was the lance that slayed dragons of all colors and none, and that kind of struck me as a little interesting, because as a player of D&D for a long time, I know that there are the chromatic dragons.
Yes.
And the metallic dragons. I know there's also gem dragons and all that jazz, but I don't think we touch on those in Dragonlance.
No, they don't. They aren't present in Dragonlance.
Oh, good. So yes. I just that line called out to me, because I'm trying to figure out what they mean by "and none." What I think is happening is maybe there was some metallic dragons that betrayed the forces of good to side with the forces of evil, because that's always fascinating to me.
Sort of.
Am I misremembering here? I could have sworn that the line in the book was not dragons of all colors, but the dragon of all colors and none. Am I wrong there? What I thought it was singular.
I did not highlight it, so I don't know. But let's see here. Do you know what page that's on, Austin? Was it at the beginning
of chapter? Was it in chapter 8?
In chapter 8, let's see here, chapter 8. Because if it's all colors and none,
as did the lance he carried, the dragon lance he used to destroy the dragon of all colors and of none.
Right, which is Takesis.
Well, I retract my statement.
Yeah.
But you know
you're-
what?
But you're not wrong, Austin. In
Yeah.
the deep lore of Dragonlance, there were before there were the chromatic dragons and before there were the gold dragons, there were the the first metal dragons, which I believe were like an iron dragon, some other metals. They were made out of base metals. And Takis, they were the shared children of Takesis and Paladine, and Takesis corrupted them. And then their corruption caused their metal to corrode, which different metals corrode into different colors, yada yada.
And that's how we got
gives us the
chromatic.
chromatic dragons. Yes.
Okay, see, that I didn't know, and I really like that. So I apologize about screwing that line up for everybody. I will go commit Sudoku or something.
Yes. And then to finish
it was
this
such a
bit of
tiny
lore.
thing. It was just such
It was
the letter S.
Yes, no. And then the precious metallic dragons were crafted originally as statues, as monuments to the fallen children of Paladine who had turned to evil. One for each, which is why there's the same number of metallic dragons as there are chromatic dragons. And then I believe it was Mishakal or somebody who breathed life into them to make Paladine happy, to bring happiness to Paladine. And then they became the metallic dragons.
Yeah. So again, this is for spoilers for Austin, and you don't have to say it. But do we see the other flavors of metallic beyond the silver and the gold?
Yes. Oh yeah, we'll see.
Oh, good. Perfect. All right.
Damn it, someday. Yeah.
One day when the other dragons arrive.
If for our elder dragons, as far as we know, there's only the maybe two.
It suggests
wink, nudge, nudge.
There's a lot going on because Silvara keeps talking about her people, and I think it's becoming clear that her people are not she's not referring to the Kaganesti.
Yeah.
Additionally, well, we'll get into it. She has an oath, right? There's clearly something going on with the dragons. And we are just being given the barest sense that something is happening without actually being told what it is yet. But yeah, I think that we're going to find out eventually that there's a reason why only the chromatic dragons are involved in this fight.
At least for now.
Yes, correct. At least for now.
At least
because this is a war. Without spoiling anything, the world of Ansalon, of Kryn, is at war, and wars have political elements to them.
They do indeed.
What? No.
Yeah.
War has politics in it? I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Not in this.
And that can sometimes dictate who is involved and when we get involved, So.
Yeah. Oaths are, in fact, a thing that a lot of people do take seriously. And that's could be what she's talking about right now.
Yep. Another mystery is this hole they find in the ground.
I will edit this out, but we should.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Oh, wow. About that sudden cut there. Hello. So Theros does uncover a hole in the ground after the party gets into... Oh, shit. Before that, they cross the bridge.
Yeah.
And they do see giant silhouettes of older friends there.
Oh, yes. The statues. The magic statues.
Yeah. The magic... I thought they were just fog shapes that looked, I just know that there was a 9-foot tall Raceland and everybody was happy.
They are statues. They are big stone. They are big obsidian statues.
Now so when Raceland is there, with the black, do we think that it's because he was in the black robes or because it was just the obsidian statue? Okay.
It's just, they're all obsidian, but the fact that it's obsidian calls to mind for Lorana. Image.
Well, for a lot of people, because they did all have that horrible nightmare of Raceland being a team-killing bastard.
True. So yes, but we learned this is actually I really like this moment because it reminds me it's a very 1980s fantasy moment. It kind of reminds me of like the Neverending Story where there's the two giant statues that like zap you with their laser eyes. If you're naughty, and it's just kind of this like big grandiose like sort of cinematic setup of like there are these giant statues and they look like your friends as you go, So they're there to remind the good as they pass of what they're fighting for, and then the villain, the evil will see those who oppose them. So then the evil have to face what they're up against, and they can't handle it. And so I'm like, this is the kind of I love this kind of operatic. And when I say operatic, I mean you could see it on stage. You could see it staged, right, with the fog machines and the giant silhouettes and the strobe lights or something cool. Great image. And I think it's a really cool idea for a sort of a magical defense for a space that is just if the party doesn't have to deal with it. They're just you can comment on it and move along. You don't you don't have to put an actual obstacle in front of people every time. It's good stuff. I like it. Notes taken.
Yeah.
Notes taken.
Notes
taken. Not that you're going to do anything evil or grim or dark to us with those notes.
No. I guess I'm just saying from a dungeon master's perspective.
Yeah.
That, if you're well, this should have a magical obstacle to overcome, but anything that would be appropriate for this temple would be too much for an adventuring party in an actual game. Would risk just killing them. And that would suck, especially the players might be well, if we're supposed to be here, if we're the good guys, then why would the temple keep us out? It does. You don't have to stop them from entering. Yeah. You can just have an obstacle that you can say this only affects the evil, which is why alignment is important in D&D.
I still have a mixed opinion on. Well, we won't get into that. We can get into that or on stream later or something. Anyways, so Theros does uncover a secret hole that the party all gets to have a quick look through, and while they're examining that, they all kind of just fall
freaks
asleep.
Out. Yeah, Silvara freaks out at first. She's like, "No, get away from that hole."
Yeah, because boy howdy, she's not prepared for what comes next.
It's true. She does indeed enchant them all, and does a thing that is very difficult to do. Which is put elves
to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes. Powerful lady, this Silvara.
Yeah.
And then Tassoff finally gets
resistant to sleep spells. Those elves.
Yes, they are. But Tassoff finally gets some screen time after that, which is great.
Yeah. And we find out that Tass, who heard what sounded like enchantments, did what came naturally, which is he hid under a shield. Which again, because of my lizard brain, I assume that it's a magical shield with some kind of spell resistance.
It's a Huma's shield, so it must be.
It's gotta be. It's gotta have some kind of spell resistance.
Got good boy enchantments.
Yeah. Which is why when he hid under it, he got immune to the spell. That again put the notoriously hard to put to sleep elves asleep.
Yes, correct. And so then he slid into the hole. In the ground, found some magical gems, tried to mess with them, turned something on, and then got whooshed away through the pipes, through the vacuum tubes, and up into a space higher up in the dragon, up in its throat.
Yeah, and I removed this, but he did find a map of a dragon, and it roughly said, "You are here," which I thought was hilarious.
Yes. And yes, there was a map and some paintings as well of the conflicts of the first Dragon War, and which jogged his memory, such that he suddenly remembered the paintings he saw with Fizban so long ago in Pax Tharkus, remembering the fact that there are good dragons, something which has not really been the party's not really been aware of up until this point.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, can you blame them? Every dragon they have encountered has been horrifying.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
Maybe evil save one who she was senile.
Yeah. And then because Tass is such a good comic duo with Fizban, when we finally get a proper Tass POV again, it is with the reemergence of Fizban.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Which seems to have been a surprise even to Fizban.
Yeah. Yeah, Fizban was not expecting this.
Fizban? No, I thought he was dead, says Fizban.
Yeah. Fizban. I haven't heard that name in a long time because he's dead.
I forget. Have we in previous episodes discussed who Fizban is yet?
No, we have not.
Nope.
We have
No.
not spelled. Okay, then I will couch
because
this in vague terms.
it got ruined for me because of the
Yes.
movie.
Well, then I will couch this in vague terms. I think it's, it's kind of fun. Again, this is me going back to AD&D knowledge, but it's actually it makes sense that he is surprised. It's not just that he's a doddering old man. It's I wish I could get into this in greater detail, but someone like Fizban, when they are around, they are fully themselves. And so for him to be waking up in this state, he would be a little bit surprised to find out that this was the choice that was made.
Yeah.
I think is what they're trying to convey here. There's a higher self, and he's like, oh, this is what I went with. These are the pants I put on today. Okay.
Well,
all right. I
that's
guess
weird.
I thought that when those pants, I thought I threw them out, but I guess I've still got them. Convenient. Hey,
Yeah.
you're the guy who really liked these pants.
Yeah.
So
They have
yes.
some conversations about, what happened, how Fizban was dead, how he turned into a bunch of feathers,
Yep.
how
How
Fizban
he
can no
wanted
longer eat chicken.
how he wanted a 21 gun salute.
Yeah, how the fuck he knows what a 21 gun salute is well and beyond my pay grade.
Well, he is a
Mhm.
powerful wizard. He is a powerful
yes,
wizard,
and I
powerful
have
wizards of the D&D of the AD&D worlds. At least one of them was known to be able to go to Earth.
And I have some opinions on that because of something that happens in the immediate following chapter.
I see.
So, Tass does inform Fizban that he brought friends, and Silvara put them to sleep, and he's like, "Oh hell no,
Silvara's here. What?
What?
Yeah, he
No.
he suddenly stops doddering and he's like, "Oh, we got business."
Yeah, I gotta go put on my adult shoes here."
Yeah.
And as we all know, Silvara is clearly a powerful spellcaster of some kind.
Yes.
Because she's a vampire, right?
Because
That's
she's
the
a
big reveal.
because she's actually
I
two
spoiled it.
vampires in a cloak. It's
Yes.
she's two Kenders in a cloak. It's why we had to make a very big deal about her putting on pants.
Yes.
Mhm.
No. There's a few Fizbanisms I do want to cover before we move on to the chapter, though.
Oh,
but
yeah, hit me.
one that I thought he had a really funny interaction. Just the way they write sometimes, I'm like, this should be a movie or a TV series or something, because it's like, he's like, oh yeah, well, he's like, it was more of a memorial service, right? He's like, it was a memorial service because we couldn't find your body, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, so you left me buried under a mound of chicken feathers? And then Tasselhoff's immediate reaction is, it was a really nice memorial service.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like Marvel level quipping, right? Like you see all the time nowadays, but was very uncommon.
It was rare,
very
back
funny.
then.
It was.
Yeah, it was funny back then.
And he also comments on Raceland. I just want to throw this out here because, again, this is an interesting bit of foreshadowing because of Fizban's interesting sense, sort of where he kind of seems to exist outside of time. He refers to Raceland as a skinny fellow, damn good magician, but he'll never amount to anything if he doesn't do something about that cough.
Yeah.
And that is way more significant.
something foreshadow?
Then yes, and I can't remember. I don't believe it's foreshadowing into this trilogy, but eventually, when I tie you both to your super glued chairs, and make us all read the Legends trilogy.
In that bit of foreshadowing for our podcast,
yes, we will see what exactly Fizban means.
Mm-hmm.
Just to load an innocuous statement from our favorite doddering old man with a lot more weight than seems to be there at first. Before moving on to chapter 10, Silvara's secret.
Yeah, so the one thing I'm going to point out about our boy Fizban is when they arrive, the spell is broken. And we all know that Fizban is a powerful spellcaster, but I don't remember him doing any actual spellcasting there.
True.
So, I think he is by far clearly more powerful than he has ever let on. Beyond being a doddering old man who occasionally forgets how a fireball spell works.
I think so. And he also feels different this time around, doesn't he? He feels less He feels like it feels like a different character.
It feels like he was putting on the doddering old man as a routine rather than a statement of fact.
Yes, this is his like Gandalf the White moment, right? He comes back from the dead and he's a more impressive version of his previous self.
Yeah, it's we now have work to do. It sucks, but we got a job to do. So let's get.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and Silvara, when she sees Fizban, has a reaction that nobody else has had to Fizban, where she just is immediately like cowed by his presence and like deeply, she's extremely apologetic, becomes super anxious, and treats him with a great deal of reverence and authority that nobody else has ever really given to him.
Yeah, because she clearly sees him as something more than a doddering old man, almost as if, I don't know, he's some kind of dragon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Because we find that out at the end of a chapter that Silvara is a dragon.
Yes. And Gilthanas does not take it well.
No. He does not.
No.
He does not. No. He cries about it.
I get it, but like on a list of people who should be more okay, he's an elf. He does live for a very long time. They could have a very happy relationship.
Yeah, but remember, he already was having difficulty with the fact that she was a slightly different type of elf than him.
But
he was patting himself on the back for getting over that.
And he had he threw away his best friend in his life because his best friend was half elf and was dating a full elf. Yeah. We're now talking a fully different species.
I think he will eventually maybe get over his racism. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
On top of that, part of how he got over the fact that she's a Kaganesi elf is he kind of concocted this whole fantasy future in his head. He's like, well, of course, my family, they won't be happy about it, but we could always go and, we could go and live with yours. I'm not that great with a bow, but, I bet we'd have some beautiful kids. And he's just got this whole future in his head planned out.
I could get, I'll get there. I'll be better.
It's gone.
Then he gets punched in the proverbial face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of oh my God, what? No.
No.
And with that all being said, I feel for the dude in the scenario. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But because it was a very powerful romance, but it was also incredibly short, right? There was a lot of feelings packed into, I think it was 3 days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think, though, I mean, honestly, I'm a bit more sympathetic to, I get why Gilthanas is reacting the way he is. He's shocked, right? And he's not even, to be fair, he isn't having we don't know that he's having a negative reaction just yet. He's definitely having a unpleasant reaction. But he's not yelling at her. He's not upset with it. He's just like, she's a dragon. He's talking to himself, right? He's just like, I gotta sit down. A dragon? Oh my God, what? And he's just crying about it, which is maybe a good sign for him.
Because it's 100%. It's a surprising thing. If my partner turned out to be a dragon, I would also be surprised. It would be really rad for me, but
See, but while he's been fantasizing this whole time and having this sort of optimistic, happy fantasy future dashed to pieces by the revelation of who Silvara actually is, Silvara this entire time has been measuring the fact that she is in love with a mortal, an elf, long live though they may be, against the same situation that her elder sister, we learn, went through with Huma. And as we know from the story she told a while back, which we now have no reason to doubt as anything but fact, her sister was faced with the choice of either becoming a mortal, becoming a human to be with Huma, and then they would both run off and be in love, or not being together and fighting the Dragon War.
Yeah.
And we know that at some point Silvara mentions that her sister said in her own inner monologue that she had talked with her sister about it, and her sister said it was her choice. Like every choice she's making, it's her choice to make. And so she's been tumbling this around in her head the entire time. And now Fizban is standing in front of her, and for some reason she's looking to him for absolution or something. She's
for absolution, advice, what the hell do I do?
Yeah, it's almost like she's talking to her dad. She's like, no. He's like, you've broken your oath, and she's like, no, I haven't. He's like, yes, you have, girl, and she's upset about it, and she's like, fine, yeah, I did it, and he's like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's chill. Like the punishment, if there is one, is entirely on you.
Yeah,
and that again, it's interesting to see Fizban as more than a doddering old man.
Yes, he carries authority and weight. So I think that here, this is sort of the moment where, like I said, this is where we're really introduced to Silvara, right? As a character who is emotionally challenged by the sort of uncertain circumstances she's been thrust into by her own emotions, right? Emotions she probably hasn't really ever had to reconcile with, but has been aware of because her older sister went through it. This is part of her family's lore, not just the lore of the world, but like her bloodline, right? And now it's happened to her. But ultimately, and in the same way where she's like trying to like kind of cover for herself to Fizban and so on, and then ultimately she's like, no, you're right, I did break my oath, etc. I'm confused, but I know I have to do something. I can't watch people suffer, right? And then she's becoming increasingly more regal and proud by the end of this chapter. I think we see that she is this emotionally conflicted person. She is probably quite young for a dragon mentally. Her behavior seems to suggests that to me in any case. And yet she is able to, she understands the responsibility that being a being of her nature has. Being someone in her position has, what it comes with and what she has to do to act on that. Which is interesting because we could very easily say that is the exact same person Gilthanis is turning out to be across these chapters, right? He's emotionally immature by the standards of his species, despite being long-lived. He comes from a sort of a very important regal bloodline. He's a very proud, noble person. We see that in his bearing and manner all of the time. But ultimately, he's learning that the authority and privilege he's enjoyed in his life gives him creates a responsibility to do what he can to help people who are suffering. And that's the choice he makes, and consistently. And so I think that this is, maybe it's more than just like, this is why I keep calling it like a star-crossed love. It's almost like they are meant to be, right? Like they are the same person in a way. And I
really like that.
Yeah, which is why I found it so hard to comment on Silvara up to this point. Because there wasn't a lot to say without saying all of that. Without revealing the end. Like you can't really comment on, oh, well, who's the fake person without talking about who the real person is. But now we see the real person. I'm really curious about what's going to happen with her.
So am I. Like I am excited to get into the next chapters.
Me too.
Me too.
But it is getting rather late in the night.
Yeah.
So
hold on. Speaking of those, okay.
All right.
One final the most important part.
Fine.
I can't believe you ruined our perfect segue.
I'm sorry, but we have to talk about Theros.
Yeah, we do have to kind of talk about Theros. The Theros.
Fizban gives him the side eye briefly when he's talking to Silvara. He's like, "Oh, and Theros with the silver arm is here. Interesting, Silvara." Right? Like, he knows exactly how all the pieces fall to come together. Right?
Yeah.
And for a man who knows so much, I'm not confident that Fizban didn't expect this in the first place. I think he might just be putting on a dad act. But But
I concur.
Yes, but Theros is there with the silver arm, that was used to forge the dragon lance, etc., etc., etc. And so Silvara is going to be the one to teach him how to do it.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's important. So this clearly shows that her plan all along was to equip the people of Ansalon with the tools they needed to fight this war. I think that the only thing that confused it for her this entire time, the only reason she kept like bumbling and stumbling around, was because she fell in love with Gilthanis.
Yeah.
So I think that that's important too.
It's true.
Yes.
Okay, let me
They're gonna have to
assign some
focus on their
readings.
responsibilities. Yes, assign some readings.
Okay, we are going to read chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And
Yes.
then that finishes up a kind of first half of that character arc, and then the next time it'll be a heavier reading, but we'll finish the book completely.
Yes, I like the art for this first chapter of book 3, The Red Wizard and His Wonderful Illusions, and there's a little stained glass pig window at a tavern of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that,
I also like
little
the
restaurant.
page before the like book 3 image where it's clearly like Huma's sword with the roses over it. That's great.
Yeah, that's a bit of classic Dragonlance art. You see that in several of the tabletop books. Mm-hmm.
So
very classic.
From there, I think we're done for the night. I just have a question for you guys, for my fellows here. If I was a stranger on the internet and I wanted to track you down, Hauntie, where would I find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/AuntieHauntie. That's where I am most of the time these days, but I'm about to start making some videos for my YouTube channels.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/AuntieHauntie and YouTube.com/AuntieHauntieGames.
Yeah, and you stream pretty regularly.
Every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing this information with me. I will track you down on the internet later. William SRD, if I was a strange stalker and I wanted to find you on the internet, whereabouts could I start with this?
I can't believe you've forgotten. I tell you every single time where to find me. Man. You could find me, of course, on the William SRD YouTube channel. I am also streaming a game right now called Tainted Grail that is very fun and interesting. You can find the streams both on YouTube and Twitch, but you'll have access to the chat that I can see if you go through Twitch.
And of course, you can find me here and on a handful of nerds. My actual playcast with at least 2 of the people in this, 3 of the people in this very chat. We are releasing more episodes
on YouTube.
On YouTube. We are releasing more episodes on YouTube. I promise, we swear, where we have a very dedicated team of people who may or may not be editing as we speak right now.
Love that for them.
Yeah, I love that for those guys. What a bunch of nerds. We like that. So I think that's us. I think that's it for us. All right. Well,
it is.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
I love all of you.
Have a good night.
Now,
get
You
out of
ever
here.
think that's like a
Good night.
Like you ever like listen to the syllables of a word and you're like, wait, that those are weird syllables. Have a good night. Who came up with that?
Good night. Yeah.
I blame the French.